and welcome to this special presentation. Now, 2 days from today, Team India's English test will begin. It is also the beginning of India's quest for an entry into the historic World Test Championship final. Back home, after the high of win down under, India would be looking to dominate the opponents, the England team in this case. But what do we expect? To talk about that, I am joined at this hour by Kolkata Knight Riders former skipper and former Indian opening batsman Gautam Gambhir for an exclusive chat. Thank you very much, Gautam, for joining me on the broadcast. Now, India in India is always a big threat, but the English team are coming in after warming up in Lanka. Would they be a challenge for the Indians in their backyard?
Anyone can pull off a surprise. It's not like England are pushovers, and I've always maintained that it's a game of cricket which starts with 0-0. So it's going to be a new series. So obviously India needs to play some good cricket. Most importantly, they don't need to be overconfident because England has got players who can actually do really well in all conditions. When you've got people like Joe Root, Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, all these guys, Jimmy Anderson, these guys can actually pull a surprise, and I'm sure that's going to be a good series.
Now, you know, Australians do it almost regularly, but rarely do we see Indians predict a scoreline. However, there's always a temptation to ask about scoreline predictions. Tell me yours.
See, I hate predicting because it's a sport and it's very difficult to predict. But then again, I think the venue for the first two test matches obviously will put India as favourites because Chennai has always been a happy hunting ground for India. Plus, obviously, spin plays a huge part. And if you compare both the sides with their spinning options, Ashwin probably the best in the world right now. You've got Kuldeep Yadav, vs Akshar Patel is going to probably make his debut. I'm not sure. And on the other side, yes, they've got an inexperienced spin bowling attack. So from the spin point of view, obviously India's got an edge, and especially at the venue they're playing at. So I'm sure India will start as favourites. But again, you got to play good cricket because it's a 5-day test match, and you've got ample time to make a comeback. So obviously, I would definitely tilt towards India.
Gautam, would you say Ashwin will be the key to India's success in this series? Now, the English would have watched videos of him foxing Steve Smith time and again in Australia. They would like to save themselves from mental disintegration, something that all touring teams are wary of when they tour India.
See, I'll tell you one thing. English play spin very differently to Australians.
Right.
If you see English batters, they sweep a lot. They reverse sweep a lot. But if you see the Australian batsmen, they hardly sweep, whether it was Steve Smith, whether it was Labuschagne. And they were actually very timid as well. I'm sure England would not go that way. And if you see Joe Root, the way he played against Sri Lankan bowlers, he swept them a lot. So Ashwin's going to have a challenge as well, and I'm sure Ashwin is really shrewd and he's very experienced. He knows that how English batters will actually look to take him on as well. So he probably will bowl different lines, probably will bowl different lengths as well. So you can't compare both the sides because English, the way they play spin is very different. So I'm sure it's going to be a great challenge and a very, very thrilling contest as well between Joe Root, Ben Stokes, and all these batters against someone like Ashwin.
Gautam, who do you think can partner Ashwin? Jadeja would probably be out for the entire series. And how many spinners, ideally, do you think India should play? 2 or 3?
See, again, it has to be a like-to-like swap, and it goes. Definitely go with Akshar Patel because he's very similar to someone like Ravindra Jadeja. Bowls really tight, can bat at number 7, can contribute with the bat. Plus, a left-arm spin is always a great option for any captain to have. Plus, you've got Kuldeep Yadav as well. So, looking at all the options and the way and the venue they're playing at, obviously, if India could go with 3 spinners, which is Akshar Patel, Ravichandran Ashwin, and Kuldeep Yadav, that will put them in very good stead. And at the same time, that will be a great combination as well. You've got 2 fast bowlers, 3 spinners. You've got enough ammunition for Virat Kohli to actually keep rotating his bowlers for the 4 or 5 days.
Now, Kuldeep Yadav, you know, one of those bowlers who is being talked about, could come into the team, says that he owes a lot to you for the way you've groomed him during your KKR days as his captain.
No, he doesn't. I think it's his own hard work. Plus, obviously, it was my responsibility as a captain as well when I was captaining KKR to groom a young talent which can actually go on to achieve great things for Indian cricket, and that is what he's done. But one thing, obviously, he doesn't owe me anything. All he owes is to himself, and he keeps working hard and probably keep taking wickets for India, which is more important.
Now, Gauti, he's been on the sidelines during the tour of Australia. He's been with the contingent for the entire tour. Would you say the wait for Kuldeep would now have been frustrating? What does it do to the mindset of a youngster when he has to wait for such a long time?
See, that's international cricket. And you can't take things for granted, and I'm sure he hasn't taken any things for granted, but sometimes you got to wait for your opportunity, as simple as it gets, and just be prepared, whether you're bowling in the nets, whether you're doing your fitness stuff, whether you're bowling those long spells in nets, just try and be as prepared as you can, because whenever the next opportunity arrives, you should be ready to take it with both hands. And I'm sure he's got to play a part in this series, because a wrist spinner and that also a left-arm Chinaman will always be a great asset for any captain, especially against English batters who haven't seen a lot of him. So I'm sure he would be ready for it, and I'm sure it's going to be a good series for him as well, because he's a very, very talented bowler. It just depends how he starts, because first test match, someone like Kuldeep Yadav, who's young and he hasn't played a lot of international cricket recently. So if he starts off really well in the first test match, or whenever he gets that opportunity, I think it's going to be obviously a great series, and he's going to be among the wickets, I'm sure. But again, I think one good thing BCCI has done is probably persisted with him and kept him in the squad, which is very important, because a young left-arm Chinaman, which is a very, very rare commodity, you got to keep him and try and preserve him. And whenever you get an opportunity, just probably throw at the opposition.
It'll be interesting to see if they draft him into the team and they play three bowlers, and how Kuldeep performs as the series progresses. We have spoken about the spinners, and while we were talking, there were some pictures of the fast bowlers training on our screen. Let's talk about the pacers now, Gauti. While Bumrah is the #1 bowler, would you say for the second spot now there's a fight between Ishant Sharma and Mohammad Siraj, from a team struggling to find replacements for a depleted bowling setup to a problem of plenty right now?
See, not only two of them, I think Shardul Thakur has done enough, to be honest. He can put his hand up and say that what wrong have I done? I've contributed with the bat, I've contributed with the ball as well. But going currently purely from the form point of view, I would definitely start with Mohammad Siraj. And plus, again, the most important thing is that Ishant hasn't played a lot of 5-day cricket. And after coming back from injury, he's only played T20 cricket, and bowling 4 overs in a T20 game to bowling in Chennai, and that also those long spells when you're only playing 2 fast bowlers will be tough on him. So probably he will have to get his workload up and probably be ready to bowl those 18, 19 overs in a day. And if he's ready to do that, probably India then should get him in the playing 11. I think to start off with, I think Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah probably are the 2 best bowlers currently in this squad.
Now, during the course of India's tour down under, Ian Chappell had spoken about Hardik Pandya being India's X-factor, perhaps even leading up to the World Test Championship final. Do you think that India will try him out closer to that match, that historic final that will take place in June, if India is to qualify?
Till he doesn't bowl. I don't see, if he doesn't bowl, I don't know where you got to fit him. Because ultimately India will definitely, and India should definitely play the 5 bowlers. I think India's biggest reason of success in Australia was after the first test match was because India was brave enough to actually put 5 bowlers on the park. A lot of people actually, after getting bundled out for 36, would have actually gone the other way and would have played 7 batters, 6 batters and a wicket keeper, and would have actually taken that cautious route. But India were brave enough to put Ravindra Jadeja at #7, and it actually got you results. Until the time Hardik Pandya doesn't bowl, I don't see him in the playing 11, especially in test matches, because who are you going to drop? If Rahane bats at #5 and Rishabh Pant with current form he has bats at #6, and then 5 bowlers. So that's my take, because India definitely should go with 5 bowlers irrespective of what conditions, where they're playing, because that is probably the mantra for success going forward as well, because you got to take 20 wickets to win a test match. So Hardik Pandya, till the time he doesn't bowl, he doesn't fit in the playing 11.
Now, let me ask you this question. Both the teams are stacked with some brilliant performers. But, between the two sides, who would you pick as the X factors? Tell me who would be the X factor for India and the X factor for the English side.
See, it's very hard to look beyond Jasprit Bumrah, irrespective of whether you're playing in Australia, England or India. He's just pure quality. And he can bowl well with the new ball, he can bowl well with the old ball, he can bowl well with the semi-new ball. So he's going to be someone, yes, we will keep talking about 3 spinners, spinning conditions, but Jasprit Bumrah will be my X factor, because he can turn the game very quickly. Once it starts reversing, once it starts doing nothing for the spinners, he can make that impact, and he can actually get you wickets anytime. So it has to be Jasprit Bumrah from Indian side. probably from the England side. He has Joe Root because the current form he is in, purely from that point of view. But yes, they've got Jofra Archer as well, who could be very, very threatening as well if he gets his rhythm right. But again, for me, I think Joe Root would be the guy India would definitely be targeting, because he has the appetite of getting those big runs, and if he gets in, he can get those 180s, 200s, which England would be desperately asking him to get in this series.
Now, in terms of wicket keeping, Pant has performed brilliantly. He's the reason why India perhaps went on to win the Brisbane Test. That final 89 will be forever etched in our memories. But do you see that he will continue with the Indian team, given that, you know, Wriddhiman Saha is also waiting in the wings? Or is there a chance that Wriddhiman might stage a comeback at this point in the series?
Not in near future, because I think Rishabh Pant has done brilliantly in Australia. Probably he's the guy who probably won us the series as well. Yes, he needs to improve his keeping, and I'm sure he will improve his keeping, especially he will get that confidence from his batting into the keeping, because it's both ways. When you're keeping well, you get that confidence in your batting. When you're batting well, you get that confidence. Take your that confidence into your keeping as well. I know he needs to improve a lot, but then he's a young guy who can bat at number 6 and can contribute with the bat, which is going to give you that balance. So I don't see Wriddhiman Saha actually fitting in near future, till the time Rishabh Pant probably does something really bad, or he doesn't have a great form with the bat. Then probably you might go with Wriddhiman Saha. Till the time he's batting well and he's contributing with the bat and he keeps improving his keeping, I think Rishabh Pant will be the guy.
Gauti, now there's an interesting story playing out in the English camp. Jos Buttler will leave after the first test, while Jonny Bairstow will play the final 2 tests. Now, ECB has decided to rotate their players because of the bio-bubble situation over the last few months, and this is perhaps going to be a constant feature over we don't know how many months. Do you think BCCI should take a leaf out of their book?
See, Rika, I think BCCI has done really well till now. See, England cricket, I can't comment about them, what their mindset is. I know it's tough to be in the bubble. I've never been in a bubble, so I can't comment about it. But I think you got to prioritize which format is more important. So if you prioritize that Test cricket and 4 Test matches are more important than white ball series, then you got to have your best playing 11 on the park for the 4 Test matches. You can easily give them that break in white ball cricket, because England anyways plays a lot of white ball cricket. Whether it is Jos Buttler, Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, those guys play IPL, those guys play T20 cricket, white ball, 50-over cricket. So if they really want to do well, it is a bit of a surprise that when obviously Jos Buttler will go back after the first Test match, or Jonny Bairstow will only be available for the last 2 Test matches. So it's weird, because you're playing against probably the toughest side in the world right now and in their own backyard. If you can't put the best playing 11 on the park, you don't expect to win, to be honest, because had it been the best playing 11 on the park, it would have been an exciting series. I'm sure it's going to be again an exciting series. I'm not going to take anything away from England, but then you got to prioritize your formats rather than prioritize that, okay, 1 Test match you go away, then come back for white ball cricket, because white ball cricket anyways, you have a lot of experience, so it doesn't really matter. So it's a bit of a surprise for me how England has gone that way of probably giving more importance to white ball cricket than 4 Test matches against England and against India in their own backyard, which is always going to be tough for any side.
I'm not surprised that you gave that answer, Gautam, given that a lot of even English commentators are fuming with ECB's decision of rotating players, particularly during as important a series as this. Now, another interesting story that will run through the series is Virat Kohli coming back to the side after Ajinkya Rahane has done so well in Australia as a captain. What do you have to say about that?
See, we have this mindset of jumping the gun very quickly. And we've done that with a lot of young players. We've done that with a lot of experienced players as well. That suddenly someone does well and then you start forgetting about the other person's contribution. See, Virat Kohli has done a brilliant job with the Test side, no doubt about it. India was number 1. India's actually been the best traveling side across the formats as well. Whether, yes, India hasn't won a lot of series away from home. Yes, India has won in Australia, but whether it is South Africa, New Zealand or England, but India has been the most consistent side under Virat Kohli whenever we've toured away from the subcontinent. So you got to give it to Virat Kohli. Yes, there will always be temptation. There will always be question marks, and there will always be these debates whether Ajinkya Rahane and all this stuff. Virat Kohli, you can't just after 3 Test matches, because Ajinkya Rahane has done really well as a captain, you can't forget what Virat Kohli has done over such a long period of time. So yes, Virat Kohli has done a fabulous job. I'm sure he's going to continue growing this team even further, and I'm sure India is going to be even more successful in other countries like England, New Zealand and South Africa.
It's interesting that you say that Virat Kohli has made India into the best travelling test side. Now, Virat Kohli versus Joe Root, would you say that's the contest to watch out for in this series?
It's not about two individuals, it's England versus India, and I'm sure both the players and all the players would definitely want to contribute and try and get runs. It's not only about Joe Root versus Virat Kohli. I think we believe in all those battle among battles and all that stuff, but then again I feel that Joe Root has his own way of playing cricket, Virat Kohli has his own way of playing cricket, but ultimately it's got to be India versus England. But both these guys will be key for their particular teams, and obviously both the teams would expect great things from both these guys.
Indeed, they are the #1 performers of their side, though the teams are packed with superstars. Now, Gautam Root debuted in India. He captained the test team. Huge series for him, would you say, to establish himself as one worthy of a place in Fab 4, though he is already being named as one who can be in that Fab 4 list.
He's already established himself. I don't see him anywhere near probably being away from that Fab 4 or Fab 5. Ultimately, I don't believe in all this Fab 4, Fab 5 because there are a lot of other good cricketers who we don't mention in this Fab 4, Fab 5. There's Shihope, for example. There are a lot of other guys from other countries as well. But at the same time, yes, I think it's got to be an important series, and I'm sure Joe Root knows about it. That to win a series in India, they need to put runs on the board, and there's going to be a lot of expectations from him, especially the kind of form he's in and what he's done in Sri Lanka. Obviously, the bowling attacks will be different, but again, when you come back with so many runs behind your back, it will always put you in good stead, and at the same time your confidence will be sky high as well. So I'm sure it's not about that he has to cement his place or he would be looking to get runs so that he can come into the Fab 4, Fab 5. It really doesn't matter. I think his entire focus will be to do well as a team and as a captain, and hopefully if they can be really, really competitive, because ultimately if you're competitive, then I think that's going to be a good series for everyone to watch.
Fair enough, but Root has himself said that he wants to be a more rounded cricketer, play in T20s, wherein do you think that Root is a little behind the likes of Kohli, Smith and Williamson?
See, ultimately it's only because England is such a dangerous force in white ball cricket, especially in T20 cricket. That's the reason why Joe Root doesn't actually fit into that T20 side. Had Joe Root been playing for any other country, he would have definitely been in the any T20 side. You look at Kane Williamson, he's not a power hitter. He captains New Zealand. You look at Virat Kohli, he's not a power hitter. He captains India in T20 format. You look at so many other players who are not power hitters, but they're probably part of that T20 side. But it's only England because they've got so much of firepower. Johnny Bairstow, Ben Stokes, all those guys, Morgan and all those guys. That's the reason. And I'm sure that there will be a place for Joe Root, because it's not slam bang cricket all the way. In T20 cricket, you need someone who can actually bat a little longer when you're chasing 140, 150 on a turning track. So Joe Root should always be part of that T20 side because you can't have just one-dimensional players all through your batting lineup. So yeah, it's still unfortunate that he's not part of the T20 side, but then eventually he will be because he's that good a player.
Gautam, before we let you go, one final question on the series itself. Would you say all eyes will be on the World Test Championship final? India has a chance and England too has an outside chance to enter the historic final. Would you say that's going to play on their mind when they take the field?
See, I don't think any of the sides will be looking at World Test Championship final. I think it's all about taking every test match as it comes, every day as it comes. Try and stay in the present, try and stay in the moment. Because anything can happen in sport, and I'm sure England would be thinking the same way. India would be approaching the same way as well. You can't look too far ahead that what's going to happen. You're going to put undue pressure on your own self that you got to win with this margin, you got to win the series and stuff. Take every day as it comes because it's sport and anything can happen. And when two good quality sides play against each other, they want to be as competitive as they can be, and at the same time try and play the sessions. If you keep winning the sessions, keep getting those sessions in your favor, ultimately you will be able to achieve the bigger goal, and that is what I think that both the sides will approach this series with.
Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast, Gautam Gambhir, and we hope to hear more of you during the series.